Thanks, Josh.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, every time do we have to hear that. Not today. Oh, wait, we did because of James. But Josh isn't here in this very special episode of Faith and Whatever.
I missed the what's up, girl.
Hey, girl. He's live at the Super Bowl party at RJ's house. So I'm sure you can catch him on some of our social media. He's going to be doing some reaction videos very soon if they haven't already dropped. But today, James and Chris and I will be talking about the wonderful or potentially wonderful Super Bowl commercials. I hear more often than anything about the Super Bowl that I watch it for the commercials.
Yeah, you hear that a lot, right? A lot of people.
Yeah.
It's almost like the justification nowadays. It's like we don't want to mention that we might like football.
Okay,
I watch it for the commercials.
So it's almost like if this truly is a national holiday, then it's just a national holiday to sit and watch commercials.
Yeah, it's actually like a consumerism holiday.
Yeah.
Isn't that the national pastime anyway?
Yeah.
How much time do we spend watching commercials, Chris?
Since the DVR came along, not very much. I'll tell you that.
I think we can't get away from it. I noticed that in youth ministry, a lot of my students, I mean, that's kind of, they don't being in Southern California, football teams aren't huge, especially for those who grew up here and didn't start with a football team. So they just, I like football parties, Super Bowl parties. I mean, I get good food. And
I like chicken wings.
Yeah.
I like ribs.
Yeah. So about 11 minutes ago, we watched a bunch of the Super Bowl commercials.
Exactly 11 minutes ago.
That's why I saw a clock there. We have a really nice cuckoo clock here in the studio, and it says 11 minutes ago. And so we watch them. We have opinions about them. And the general consensus, at least by Chris and I, is that they are completely irrelevant. They are, my opinion was, after watching it, wow, it's really great to be a marketing firm that gets a gig for a Super Bowl commercial, because you can make any kind of creative, well-made piece of marketing.
You get given $30 million.
Yeah. And
you
can make whatever
any
you want.
sort of piece of art you feel like.
Yeah.
And then you put the name of the company at the end.
Let me give you two examples.
All right.
Justin Bieber.
T-Mobile.
Dancing. Hold on.
It was the history of dance and football.
Hold on. How does it get to unlimited data for T-Mobile? Unlimited moves?
They brought in Terrell Owens and said he had unlimited moves.
Okay, so that was at the very end of the whole history of dance.
T-Mobile.
That guy's got unlimited moves. You know what else has got unlimited? T-Mobile. Okay, that's one that doesn't.
It was really bad.
It's like a bad conversation where someone just wants to talk about that thing they want to talk about. They don't know how to segue into it.
Yeah, the segues were just non-existent.
It also seemed like it was. I mean, the real commercial was trying to just make Justin Bieber likable again. Like that was the real commercial.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He's not Jimmy Fallon or Justin Timberlake. So
he's not Justin Timberlake. You're right about that.
You can't. The glasses and the outfit. I mean, it just wasn't. I mean, you have too many tattoos to also wear like a really nice, well-made suit. Like you can't. Yeah. You made too many bad choices to do that already. Sorry.
My favorite one is also indicative of that observation.
Okay.
My favorite one was the Humpty Dumpty.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So it's like Humpty Dumpty is falling off the wall. They're trying to put them back together again, and it's really very visceral and violent. Even though it's just egg yolk and stuff. I was laughing.
He
all
vomits
loved
yolk at one point as he's been healing, and
and they were like, "What was he doing that he fell off the wall?" And the big twist at the end was he was doing his taxes on TurboTax.
Yeah, I don't. And he said, people want to know why or whatever. He goes, because I can.
Because I can.
Because they show the mobile app because you can do your taxes. There's another TurboTax commercial that also had the same sense of being completely unrelated. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it was. You're right. I should have took notes, James.
You should have taken notes.
Dang it!
I tried to warn him.
Should have took notes. Well, I mean, usually I remember commercials, and apparently that's not soon enough.
I guess the marketing didn't do its job.
Yeah. So I saw lots of celebrities. I saw well-made things.
Here's
famous songs. There was one that was the Mercedes commercial. I thought that was probably the best because I think it really was indicative of trying to sell a product.
Right.
And it told a story where there's a bunch of bikers that are all aging and getting old, and they're trying to get in fights, but their shoulder hurts and things like that. They put on a classic song from the Easy Rider movie, who stars, who's the star of that? Peter Fonda, right? So they walk out, they get mad because someone's parked in front of their motorcycles. They walk out, and Peter Fonda, in his full leather, gets into a brand new Mercedes SLS convertible and drives off, kind of saying, hey, we're all getting older. Don't we deserve nice things? We don't have to drive around on a motorcycle. We can drive around in a $180,000 Mercedes. So that at least told the narrative that the Mercedes fit into that story.
Mm.
Guys who getting older, they used to drive motorcycles. A Mercedes is just as rewarding as a Harley.
Now I get what you're saying, but I mean, it's like the bulk of the commercial contrasts the product, though, right? The bulk of the commercial should be leading up to like a Harley, right? Like the new, more comfortable Harley.
Yeah, but most motorcycle riders are fakes anyway, right?
Oh, okay.
They're all
They're
posers.
They don't actually ride motorcycles?
Time to get hate mail.
No.
Boom, boom, boom.
I mean, a lot of the that segment of the market is people who drive a Mercedes all week and their
Right,
Harley on
right.
Sunday.
I mean, it kind of told a story that ended in a Mercedes, and I didn't go, they just switched it on me. I just flowed a lot better.
Now, let me tell you a couple of things that I saw. We'll start with one that I thought was a big change from yesteryear, which is, with just a few exceptions, there was very little objectification of women, but a lot of objectification of men. Right? I saw a lot of commercials that were putting the male body on display.
Okay.
Did you notice that?
I noticed that one at the end that we watched, the bottle keeper.
Yeah, that one was pretty.
Yeah,
But I know
that was pretty.
it seemed like because like you can remember,
Yeah.
even if you don't remember anything specific,
Sure.
memory tells you that like Super Bowl commercials of years prior, there's lots of women in bikinis. There's like open the Budweiser and suddenly there's a party kind of thing happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lots of scantily clad ladies,
Yeah.
because they're thinking to themselves, we're advertising to people watching the Super Bowl, which the stereotype would be like men, right? But as Chris and I were discussing, and is that it seems now that the strategy is the opposite. They know the football viewer is going to watch the Super Bowl, period. So you don't need to advertise and please the football viewer. You need to get everybody else. It's all the people whose excuse is, I go to watch the commercials.
Market to them.
It's all, and that's the complete opposite of the
Is this
stereotype.
your theory, or is this
And that's what the halftime show is
Proven.
done, right?
Yeah,
That's what we were saying earlier.
yeah, that's what the halftime show is doing. It's like, how does Lady Gaga appeal to like your standard football viewer?
Yeah, I've actually been to Super Bowl, I don't know, 29 or 39, and halftime show star Tina Turner. So I don't know how many football fans are like a big Tina Turner fans.
Right.
Probably not very many. But I can see what you're saying. I didn't even think about that. Like the men go check out and finally go to the bathroom, and then the women sit down, or non-sports fans sit down and watch some celebrity.
Right. So there's a different demographic for the commercials and for the halftime show than
Right.
there is for the actual game.
Yeah, and they're kind of figuring that out as time goes on to market
Right.
to the. Now there was plenty of light beer commercials going on that had plenty of men being men and drinking light beer.
Talking about
gross.
light beer commercials, though, this was another theme that I didn't see coming, which was migration was a big theme.
Yeah,
right?
immigration.
We saw two really big ones. I was taken aback personally, very surprised to see an Anheuser-Busch commercial, which seemed to very subtly make a statement about immigration.
Yeah.
Right? It basically
I
without.
don't think it was that subtle.
I'm not talking about the lumber one. I'm talking about the Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't think it was that subtle.
I think it was subtle because they never said, "Hey, this is what you should think about it." What they did is they watched the life story of a German young man trying to come across the country. He wants to make beer. And you see how he's hated when he first comes to the country and how he's mostly rejected. He overcomes all of these trials. And then right at the end, he meets another guy named Anheiser, and they start Anheiser-Busch, which is considered, like, I think in popular conscience, it's like the all-American product and company. And what they're saying without saying it is, this is a company built on immigrants.
Right. Which is a great point.
For our time right now. I wouldn't expect...
Which is a general point. I mean, we're all immigrants.
Right. I wouldn't expect a beer company
not
like
specifically,
Anheuser-Busch in the days of President Trump to be making a statement like that, especially because the Venn diagram of their drinkers versus what sort of voter, it seems like they'd probably overlap more with the conservative right.
Unless the perspective is, hey, we came here legally and we worked really hard to get here and paid our dues and aren't expecting handouts, and we actually want to create empires and businesses and jobs.
That could be, but I didn't get that from the commercial, especially when you have that
I did, James.
When you get that
No,
very
I don't.
brief scene of the American person who's saying I hate you or whatever, like to him as he's trying to board or
Yeah, he just got
come off
stamped
the-
though, so that guy's an American now too.
Right. I'm just saying that it seems like it's making
Yeah.
a statement about not being afraid of.
Do you think that
immigration.
is? Do you think that's good timing, or do you think that's just a little bit like
I
Super
think
Bowl
it's
clickbait?
politically driven. I think it's politically driven.
Okay.
Well, it's not making a statement about people south of the border coming to America. It's making more about the people who are like not being banned from countries.
Right. So if I'm a marketing executive and I've taken some classes on marketing, one of the goals I would want for my Super Bowl commercial is as much viral media surrounding my commercial as possible before and after the Super Bowl, so that my investment of $18 million goes beyond the 3-minute ad spot. So I would, to the best of my ability, pick a topic or a theme of my commercial that gets media attention. Therefore, maybe Anheuser-Busch, all they're saying is we're going to talk about or not talk about an immigration theme to our commercial, so that maybe it just jumps on some media sites for garnering attention, and then more people will watch our commercial about beer.
Yeah, at the end of the day, every commercial is meant to push the product as far as they can. They're not trying to do. They're not trying. Their primary goal isn't to like spread goodwill about people. It's to spread goodwill about their own product.
Right.
So absolutely, but I'm surprised that they would suggest or imply a message that would probably offend a large base of their loyal consumer.
Well, a lot of it wasn't true anyway. I just looked it up. He actually came to the U.S. with 3 of his brothers, Mr. Bush here.
Oh, really?
Not by himself. It wasn't like this lonely journey.
Right.
Oh.
So,
But I mean, still, the commercial itself is,
yeah.
it has its own message, regardless of the historical veracity of every detail.
Yeah.
And isn't Anheuser-Busch owned by a conglomerate?
Yeah, China. I think.
Nowadays it is, yeah.
Or
But I mean,
Belgium.
still it would have
Belgium,
been
yeah.
built
Yeah.
on.
AV Bev, something like that.
Yeah. InBev, I think.
InBev, yeah.
Also, on that same theme
Just
of
funny.
migration, we had that commercial from the lumber company
Mm-hmm.
that showed a mother and a daughter, for whatever reason, deciding to. You don't know what's happening at first in the commercial, right? It's left unstated. They start traveling. They're having a difficult, long voyage that's got many different steps to it. And then it says, see how the journey ends at, was it journey84.com?
Something like that, yeah.
Which we went to that website and it was totally crashed, the servers. But we found the ending somewhere else, and
Yeah.
it turns out they make it to a giant wall. And we
Right.
know whose wall that is, right? And then the girl, she had been collecting various, like, trashes and, like, bags and stuff along her way, and then she pulls all that stuff out, and she had kind of woven or put together a U.S. flag.
Yeah.
And then it's like this really like touching emotional scene. They can't make it over the wall. Then it went to a weird place where they found a big door and they walked right through it. And I don't understand exactly what they were trying to say or do with that.
Dude, we didn't watch it again, but do you think that construction at the beginning were they building the door?
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't notice, but
Yeah. So anyway, the point being there again, sort of a surprising place to make that advertisement. First of all, it costs a lot of money to get into Super Bowl advertising.
yeah.
Secondly, to spend your time making a statement or telling a story which may possibly give you bad will with most of the people watching the Super Bowl or a great, like, these are just surprising themes to me. Whether, I agree
Well, that
with,
companies would take such a polarizing position
right.
in this day and age.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
for a long time, companies have always tried to be very neutral
Right.
on
For public
anything political.
Right.
Yeah, for public relation purposes.
Be vanilla, because vanilla sells, right?
Yeah.
Vanilla is the best-selling ice cream for a reason. It's vanilla.
Yeah. I like spicy
Companies
salted
just try
chocolate
and
or
keep
something.
it bland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, but if you think about the nature of the political climate and even what you said about the Super Bowl, I think that we should only expect things like this continuing in our media. I mean, it almost seems like, how do I say this without, it seems like a good for it. I mean, it was going to happen. The immigration issue was going to be brought up at the Super Bowl in some way, and it probably is going to be brought up in more ways. So I'm not surprised to see. I'm surprised that it's a lumber company, but some kind of company taking some kind of effort to
Maybe they're afraid
engage
the
in
wall
the
will be built of
conversation.
concrete.
It was built on the concrete.
That's what they were mad about.
Yeah, yeah. They'll stab at the concrete industry from a lumber company. The thing about the commercial is it kind of blurred their statement a little bit by having the gate and having, like you said, it
took the punch away from the ending when they get in anyway. Like, it should have been like they get stopped, and that's sad.
Right.
Yeah. If you wanted to make the message you were going
but
after.
I think going back to what I remember, I think maybe the guy who works for 84 Lumber built a door, and he's saying that those who want to work hard are welcome here, kind of thing,
Yeah. It was a little confusing. Honestly, it was a very well-made commercial that had a very confusing story to it. I wasn't really sure what the point was at the end.
Give me your least favorite and your favorite commercial of what we
my
watched.
favorite was the Humpty Dumpty one.
Okay.
By far. My least favorite was probably the T-Mobile Justin Bieber one. I was like, oh my gosh, don't put Justin Bieber in front of me. I don't need more of this kid.
Chris, how about you?
My favorite was, of course, the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind expansion.
Wait, that's just an expansion pack commercial?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a whole new game.
Well, it's kind of an expansion, but it's $100 for the collector's edition upgrade. So
it's when expansion think a whole new game attached to a pre-existing.
You have to
game.
already own Elder Scroll?
No, well, if you own it, then there's an upgrade price. But then
and the upgrade price is $100? No. The upgrade price is...
well, for the collector's edition.
So
if you see a new statue pop up in my studio, you'll know I dropped $100.
So if you don't have it, you have to get an existing game. You purchase it, and then
you can buy it in a package.
And it comes with a bunch of upgrades.
Generally, the way it works is if you buy it today, you're going to spend $60, get the old game and the new expansion. If you already own the old game, which you spent $60 on, then it's just a minor price to get up to speed.
So why is it not just a brand new game? It sounds like a ton of content.
Because it's an MMO. That's how MMOs work. I mean, World of Warcraft existed for over 10 years, and it's just it's like you're adding all new games to the games that's already
This
there.
is an online game.
Yeah. This is the MMO design to things.
Okay.
You're in the same world, but they gave you a whole new land to go explore.
Yeah.
And then you can't just download it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely.
You can
it's
download
a video
it.
game.
Or you can buy the collector's edition crap. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What was your least favorite?
I might go with you on that Justin Bieber.
Yeah, that was so bad.
Just such a bad segue.
He's so unlikable. My favorite is the John Malkovich one.
That was a good one.
He's trying to get his own domain with his name in it, and
they're all taken.
He's
like, I'm John Malkovich.
I was in a movie about being me. Oh man,
that was a good line.
He's so funny. My least favorite was the kangaroo wine commercial.
The yellow thing.
Yellowtail. I mean, I'm not a wine snob, and no one claims that Yellowtail is a good wine, but to make a wine commercial and not mention the flavor and or quality, and only mention that those who drink this like to party, it just makes
try to touch my roux. That's
which like to touch my roux. It just makes me a little sad that I don't know. It's just like those who
it'll get you drunk.
Yeah, those who enjoy fine food or healthy food, there wasn't any saving grace in those. It was either light beer or party wine, and probably plenty of pizza commercials and hamburger. The Big Mac one was probably actually worse.
There's kind of like a typical McDonald's one, right? Like
the McDonald's
music,
commercial.
dancing around.
You think it was typical?
Big Macs.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I've never wanted to dance after. I don't get me wrong, I love McDonald's. But if I eat a Big Mac, I'm not going to dance.
It just felt awkward. Like, who is going to write and rap a song about 3 different kinds of Big Macs? Like, it's just not something that you make a song about.
Yeah.
You know? You make a song about. Anyways,
hey, if you're paying, I'll make you a song about anything you want.
That's right. That's right. So that's our view on the Super Bowl commercials. You heard it here first. If you watched this before you watched the Super Bowl, if not, please comment and let us know what your favorite Super Bowl commercial was and what your least favorite commercial was. And don't forget to check out some of our social media outlets to see Josh's reaction to the halftime show with Lady Gaga. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
See ya.